Yeah. The sports answer, Derek and Rudy gang. Lights on, mics high, everybody know the name. We here in this time for a great show. Step into the booth, let the whole city know. The answer now TV, yeah, we locked in. From the field to the court, every hill I'm popping. Stats on the table, real talk motion. Sports world moving, we surfing that ocean. Derek got the insight, Rudy got the spark. Turn the cameras on, we lighting up the dark. If it's trending, we address it. If it's major, we dissect it. No guessing on the set, every take get respected. The sports answer, yeah, welcome to the show, where the pressure meet the passion and the real ones know. Subscribe, tap in, tell a friend, let's go. It's Derek and Rudy gang now. Welcome to the show. Yeah, sports answer. Yeah. The sports answer, Derek and Rudy gang. Lights on, mics high, everybody know the name. We here in this time for a great show. Step into the booth, let the whole city know. The answer now TV, yeah, we locked in. From the field to the court, every hill I'm popping. Stats on the table, real talk motion. Sports world moving, we surfing that ocean. Derek got the insight, Rudy got the spark. Turn the cameras on, we lighting up the dark. If it's trending, we address it. If it's major, we dissect it. No guessing on the set, every take get respected. The sports answer, yeah, welcome to the show, where the pressure meet the passion and the real ones know. Subscribe, tap in, tell a friend, let's go. It's Derek and Rudy gang now. Welcome to the show.
An intro so nice, we had to see it twice, Derek. Normally you go on the Friday drive, but you know what? We're going live on a Thursday now because tomorrow we are off, basically, you know, getting ready for the 4th of July weekend. Derek Gervin, Rudy Campos Jr., this is the Sports Answer. Be sure to get Answer Now TV. Hit that subscribe button so you're not left out. Shout out to Spurs in Focus, Jeff Garcia. We're going to be doing a live episode tonight with Jeff Garcia and myself, so be sure to join us for that. You can catch that on Answer Now TV as well. Salem Surround, best in the business, marketing, digital marketing. I mean, Derek, everything you need to become a champion, and it's a world champion, not an NBA champion, a world champion, not Super Bowl champion, a world champion, Salem Surround. And we got a quick plug. I'm back in the radio business, man. We got Navarro Roofing, 210-680-5070. They're on with us now here at the Sports Answer with you and myself, a brand new sponsor, Navarro Roofing. Contact them today. They are the best in the business. You know what? Everybody needs roofing repair. They need a brand new roof. They need everything they can do when it comes to roofing. It's Navarro Roofing. Derek, we got a lot of free agency talk. I think the whole show is probably free agency. At this point, I'm wondering if you're even going to get picked up by a team out there.
That's funny. Well, first I want to say good evening to everybody, and I have to address this first. You just talked about championships, right?
Yeah.
That intro we just got of Shamai Reed, that's the best sports intro in the entire country. Yeah. And so I got to give a real shout out. Shamai, thank you, my man. You got us looking like superstars.
I'm getting tired of AI, Derek, because it makes me look really good in AI, but I don't look that good in person. You had that little DMX going right there in that intro. I kind of like what AI did to you, made you DMX and made me just, you know, plain and bland, man. Come on. But I love it. I love the intro.
Well, they must have saw me last week. I got out last weekend. I got to shake a leg, as they say, for the older people. And so maybe they copied that. But yeah, the intro, Shamai Reed, shout out to you, sir. And thank you.
Yeah, SOTB, Shamai on the beat, man. Done a wonderful job with the intros. I love it, love it, love it. You know, we're not going to waste time right now. We're going to get straight into some Spurs cheeseman, man.
So, like, I hear about the Spurs this y Spurs that, y como que esto y esta, pero I never hear about the real Spurs cheeseman. Nine, por favor.
All right, so cheeseman time, Derek. Now, obviously, we all know that there was a lot of different guys that they wanted to go and sign. Everybody had John Collins on their list. Everybody had, you know, who was another one that they wanted? Robert Williams, he's going back to Portland, I believe. Everybody's got a list. LeBron James, hey, LeBron needs to be a Spur, so we got to go after LeBron James. He wants the mid-level and he wants to win. Spurs fans so excited. So excited that it just kind of fizzled out when they ended up signing one Tobias Harris out of Detroit. Now, it was a 2-year deal. They said apparently they don't want to give anything more than 2 years. Apparently is what they were saying. 2-year deal, $31 million, $15.5 million a year. Really the mid-level exception right there for Tobias. I see a lot of Spurs fans, and there's even some media guys that think, hey, Tobias Harris, that's all we can muster is Tobias Harris. That's it. He doesn't move the needle. He doesn't do much for me. I like to push the pause button and the brakes on that because Tobias may not be the sexiest free agent pick you can get out there. There's other needs, but I mean, he does answer the call on some of the stuff that you're looking for. Veteran, scorer, had a really good playoff run with Detroit. Second best player on that team. Where was Duran? We don't know. But all in all, Tobias is not a bad pickup in free agency.
Well, first of all, I'm happy that he's here. You already know my history with Tobias. His dad was my agent. His dad was also my brother's agent at one time. But we're talking about a spectacular person. And that's something that the Spurs need in their locker room. Anytime you get an addition, a guy that's a proven veteran, he's moved around the league, but if you notice, he stays in demand. He's a very good guy that you need to have, another veteran. I look at him and Harrison Barnes, okay? Similar in some ways. But Tobias, I say, has a little more tread on his tires left than Harrison Barnes.
Exactly.
Harrison could still be a very important part. But when you bring in a guy like Tobias, you're bringing in a proven guy, someone that could be a role model for Victor, Dylan Harper, those younger guys, Stephon Castle, guys that could show, he could show them how it's done in the NBA. You look at the Spurs, they got Biyombo, Olynyk, and, those guys, Plumlee. But then you talk about guys that have been in the trenches, that have played a lot. Tobias has logged more minutes than those guys, probably more minutes than all of them combined.
Mm-hmm.
So you're bringing in a very important guy, and he'll definitely be an asset in the locker room. And remember, people, we needed another guy that can go off the dribble. We got Champagnie, and I want to congratulate Champagnie while we're on the subject with his new 3-year, $45 million deal.
Oh, yeah.
And so I definitely want to congratulate him on that. But you look at Tobias brings a different element. What were we missing last year? We missed that guy that could go off the dribble and get to the basket or could stop and pop, pull up and shoot that 10, 15-foot jumper.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's OG Anunoby, but he brings some of those kind of qualities to the team. He's not a bad defender.
Get a rebound.
Yeah, we're not talking about a slouch here. He gets 6 or 7 rebounds. He can get you 15 points. If you need 20, he can get you 20 points. He's not going to ever go outside of the system of the team. He's a coach's dream. Yeah. And so I want to welcome him here. His dad, I'm sure I'll be seeing him soon and talking to him. He's already telling people we're going to see a lot of him. So I'm excited. But I want to say congratulations, Tobias. You are now a San Antonio Spur. And my families, we're loving it.
It's a great pickup. And, obviously, like I said, it's not a pickup that is what every fan out there wants. They wanted the John Collins and the Williams. And we need a big man. We need a big man, or we need to strike while the iron's hot with a Jaylen Brown or Tobias Harris. Like I said, checks off a lot of, boxes that you needed, especially in the playoffs, especially in the finals. Why? Because you saw the struggles of Keldon Johnson in the playoffs generally, but also in the finals. You saw, Carter Bryant very inconsistent in certain runs, but Mitch Johnson, outside of Harrison Barnes, didn't have a guy he could trust on that bench other than Dylan Harper. So you're right. Tobias comes in with more tread than Barnes. And people were saying, well, why the hell did we sign Harrison Barnes if we're going to go get Tobias Harris? Well, you still need both of those guys. Barnes is a great guy, great community guy. He's a great locker room guy. He's got a lot of experience. All you're doing is getting the same player, but one player still has that scoring mentality, still has that tread on the tire, like you said, can still make that much more of a difference. I'd rather have 2 Harrison Barnes than, you know what, let me go get, one guy, a Collins or somebody who, yeah, he's going to help. He's going to make a difference, but I know what I'm getting with Tobias. I've seen Collins kind of go downhill last year. I've seen, certain guys have not great seasons. I'm not going to go put, the $30 million or $20 million into a lot of these other guys. And that's why I think I like Tobias Harris as a Spur right now.
Think about this. Even if you have him and Champagny on the floor together, right?
Yeah.
You got Champagny over there in that left corner. After you move the ball around, spray the ball around is the term Mike Brown has brought out there, spraying the ball.
Yeah.
So you got Champagny in one corner. You got Tobias over there where he likes to be on that right side of the floor.
Yeah.
And I mean, the guy is a 40% three-point shooter. He's been a very good three-point shooter throughout his career. So he can do more than one thing. And isn't that what we were asking for?
Yeah.
We still need a big man.
Which I think they're going to address anyway.
We need a big man, but you have to go one step at a time. We needed a forward who could put the ball on the floor, who could share the ball, who could set the screens, the hustle plays. Tobias does all of that. And have you ever heard a bad word in his entire career about Tobias Harris?
Never. Every coach he's played for has talked good about him.
Aren't those the players we need today? If you look around the league right now, what are they trying to do? They're trying to clean up the image of the league. You've noticed that, right?
Yeah, that's why they said Ja.
Well, I'm just saying, people haven't mentioned it. I'm mentioning it. They're trying to clean up the image of the league. And so when you got guys like Tobias, those are guys that can't be replaced. They're irreplaceable in the locker room. They keep a team together. And those are the kind of guys you need because the younger guys get frustrated. This is a frustrating game, a frustrating business. And so you have to have players that could show you the way through your frustrations, through the good, through the bad. And when you look at Tobias, he's all of that. And I think Victor, man, you just watch how quickly these guys take him. They just embrace him. And I think the Spurs get better. I really do.
If you're looking at the Spurs right now, and again, this is something that I wanted to kind of clear up to. Personally, you go talk about LeBron's and the other guys that we mentioned ahead of time. This is my reasoning as to why I felt good about a Tobias Harris signing. A lot of these other guys are going to want to come in and get a lot of minutes. Tobias is going to get his fair share of playing time. But I don't think Tobias has a problem with the 10, 11, 12 minutes here and there when he has to get those kind of minutes. And the other guys are going to be playing good. You want to get the young guy minutes, that's fine. But then you look at a guy like, okay, you've got at least an 8-man rotation, 9-man rotation right now with what you have. You're bringing in a 10, 11, 12 guy. A John Collins is going to want those Luke Cornett and Keldon Johnson minutes. So their minutes diminish. Tobias is in a perfect spot to where he's going to probably get some of those Keldon minutes, some of those Carter Bryant minutes, some of those Devin Vassell minutes. He can kind of play around that whole rotation because he's viable, because he's good. He's that much of a better player than limiting yourself to one player and you're having to kill Cornett minutes for John Collins or Robert Williams. I get why you want him, but with the rotation set, I mean, that's why another reason why I think Tobias fits very well.
Tobias is the kind of guy, ever since his Clipper days, right? He's the kind of guy, wherever he goes, you might have one expectation for him. We're going to bring him in, put him in there spot duty, I'll call it, right? Yeah. He's going to get 10 minutes, play him maybe 15 minutes. But then what ends up happening? He ends up commanding 30 minutes a night.
Yeah.
And that's been his history. And I don't see it changing with the Spurs. I don't think he'll play 30, but I know for sure he'll play over 20 minutes a night. And I think it'll help guys like Castle. It definitely helps Stephon Castle. Because if you look at it, even when Castle was turning the ball over, what were really his options offensively as far as who are you going to get the ball to when you come into about knocking down jump shots, right?
Yeah.
Or guys that can catch. Because if you run Champagny off the three-point line, he's not as effective.
Yeah.
If you make him put it on the floor, he's not as effective. I'm just being honest for what I've seen.
Yeah.
He's more of a catch-and-shoot guy. So yeah. Tobias is a guy that's adaptable. He can put it on the floor. He's got a good shot fake. If you remember, he was a really good offensive player at Tennessee. I think people forget. He was knocking down the three-pointers. He still has very good range. You've seen video from a few years ago, if I remember, in the gym with myself and George, and
Yeah.
he was George was shooting, Tobias was rebounding.
I remember.
But he's very familiar with San Antonio. He loves it here. You know that always helps.
Oh, yeah.
You love where you're going. He's got married a year or two. He got married recently, so the wife come here. It's a great city. He'll love being here. He's already pretty familiar with San Antonio, but as the overall, I just think the Spurs made a great move. Brian Wright and Mitch Johnson, I'm sure they embraced him right away. The team will love him. The fans will really love him. And I think, once again, the Spurs are on their way up. Now we just need to figure out our next move. Who's going to be that big man we could plug in?
Well, I got a move for you. They just made a move, and I got breaking news. I think I need a pay Shemaya. We need to get a breaking news type of thing here, and then maybe some soundbite for it. Breaking news, Dateline San Antonio, Derek. Billy Donovan is your lead assistant coach in the San Antonio Spurs now. You and I talked about this a while back. If Donovan doesn't get a job in the NBA, could he be that lead assistant? I remember talking to Jeff a little bit, throwing that name out there. You and I talked that name out there. Billy Donovan takes over for Sean Sweeney as a lead assistant, where I was like, man, they're going to miss Sweeney. Wait a minute. Maybe not as much now because they got themselves a hell of an assistant coach now.
Yes, they did. Now, here's the thing.
We can't start the fire Mitch chance there. Come on. He's just had 1 year coming out of the finals.
I'll get a man a chance to get here and get his feet wet then, because you know how I feel about Billy Donovan. I'm surprised he didn't get that Orlando job. And we did talk about this, and you did mention him as assistant coach.
Yeah.
I know he's been quiet since he retired, but wow, we talking about the city of San Antonio. Billy Donovan was where? In Chicago?
Yeah.
And so he's uprooting. And I think that's only another positive sign. And that's another great addition to the locker room. Oh, man. Mitch, yeah. They're going to give you your chance. You're still good. And Mitch just seems to be a guy that embraces other coaches. He's not worried about guys stepping on his toes. So I think that's a great addition. And welcome to San Antonio, Billy Donovan.
Yeah, we've got Ranting Raven in here. He says Billy Donovan, assistant coach for the Spurs. That did come out. Jeff from Spurs in Focus. Again, join myself and Jeff Garcia later for a live Spurs in Focus. You can find it there and on Answer Now TV. All part of the Answer Now TV family. So you can find us there later on. It says, do we like the new assistant coach, Billy Donovan, being added to the Spurs coaching staff? Absolutely. But that's a bigger signing than, any player out there, I think, when it comes for agency. That's a massive signing. That's probably bigger than the Tobias for me as Billy Donovan's assistant.
I can't dispute that because, I'm high on Billy Donovan, and him just being here, that alone as well makes us a better team.
A lot better.
So things are looking up in San Antonio, and fans, remember this. We don't have far to go. Mm-hmm. I know some people started panicking after we lost, but you also got to remember this. I could say a little bit more about it now because it's over. De'Aaron Fox was hurt. Yeah. We have to factor that in. I'm big time De'Aaron Fox fan, and we didn't see the true De'Aaron Fox. And you can't blame him if Mitch kept him on the floor or whatever. That means somewhat that the players still believed in him. He missed a lot of shots. Well, I think 3 for 15 in the last game 7.
Yeah. But
he'll be back healthy. And then you bring in Tobias, and then you bring in Billy Donovan, who is a proven champion. And you young people, don't forget this. Billy Donovan won 2 championships as a coach in Florida Gators with Joakim Noah. So and Al Horford. So we bringing in a proven winner.
Yeah, definitely. What was there? Brewer?
Corey Brewer, yes.
I remember that. Jess also says, and this is the kind of thing that I've seen online too a lot when it comes to Tobias Harris but isn't Tobias Harris just redundant? Basically, Barnes and Champagny duplicated. Now, the Barnes part we just talked about. Tobias Harris has a step on Barnes because of the trade. He's got a little bit more to offer, and we see that. The Champagny part, Julian, above average defender and can knock down the 3 ball. but I think Tobias brings more of the all-around offensive game that maybe seems to limit Julian.
Tobias is a better one-on-one player than Harrison Barnes and Champagnie, and he was better at one-on-one than Harrison in Harrison's prime.
Yeah.
That's just what the Spurs need. You need that guy every now and then. Say the play breaks down. You need a guy that can get you a bucket.
Yeah.
And that's what Tobias does. Sometimes you have to go outside of the offense. And a lot of you, I want y'all to remember this. I love Champagnie, but who does he remind you of? I'm going to tell you who he reminds me a lot of. There's a guy that played here by the name of Danny Green.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you run Danny Green off the three-point line, Danny wasn't as effective, similar to Klay Thompson. They had to learn to put the ball on the floor, even if it's 2 or 3 dribbles. Duncan Robinson had to learn the same thing. So Champagnie's still learning on the fly. But right now, as he's learning, you got to have that guy you could pencil in right now that can get you baskets off the dribble.
Yeah.
And that's Tobias. What is Dylan Harper? How does he get most of his baskets? Aren't they off the dribble?
Off the dribble to the basket.
Okay, so you got to have 2 or 3 guys. You got Victor can go off the dribble, right?
Yeah.
So you got Tobias. You bring him in. You plug him in on the right side of the court, his favorite side of the court. But he makes things happen, and you have to adjust to him. And if you don't, he's going to score.
Yeah.
So that's what the Spurs needed. They filled a big void. We needed a guy that can go more than 1 or 2 dribbles and get a bucket, and we have that guy, Tobias Harris.
Yeah, and the one thing I have to say too is when you're talking about Tobias Harris, one thing that brought up in the finals a lot was the inexperience, the youth. So I can't see how fans complain about bringing in a veteran who's been in the playoffs with other teams, coming off of a great playoff run with Detroit. You're adding a veteran who's been battle tested. So I can't complain with you going out there and get a guy like that, because he brings what you don't have, and that's the experience.
Tobias was making a few years ago $35 to $38 million.
Yeah.
Highest paid player at that time that had never made an all-star game.
Yeah.
When you giving a guy that kind of money, that means there's some things that don't show in the stat sheet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He brings overall value to the organization and to the basketball team. And those are the guys you want. Those guys I call proven winners. When you bring just as much to the organization as you bring to the actual round ball, that's a winning player.
Exactly. Got more comments in here. Jeff is back in here. Is Donovan hire more because Mitch is still inexperienced? That I think I can put that. And again, goes back to talk about the players, the inexperience of players in playoff time and the finals. Mitch is still coming off a full first year as being the head coach. So again, I like that because you're getting an experienced guy, a championship caliber coach right behind Mitch Johnson. Now, don't get me wrong. Sean Sweeney was, he should have been a head coach a long time ago, but you're getting Sweeney off of what, he won a title, I believe, with Dallas. He's a defensive guru. He was a next man up no matter what. You're getting the same type of guy with Donovan. I mean, you can't talk any more greater than that coach or hire right there.
And I'm going to say something else. I like to be the first to say things.
Always.
I want you to think about this, what this does for Corliss Williamson and Rashard Lewis.
Yeah.
It also gives them an opportunity to learn a little more. They're inexperienced as well.
Yeah.
And so you bringing in Billy Donovan, now you got to start looking at, just like Mr. Sweeney just left, right? Now you start looking at those 2 guys being elevated. Yeah. Rashard Lewis may be getting a chance one day to coach in the league. I'm just saying, Corliss Williamson, it at least brings the spotlight to them, right?
It does.
They did make it to the championship, even when people act like the season was a failure.
Yeah. It
really was a total success. How many people had the San Antonio Spurs going to the finals?
I had them at 44.
Okay,
wins.
So boom.
Yeah.
That's what you call an explosion. They over exceeded by far, right?
Yeah.
And so now you bring in Billy Donovan. That only helps the whole organization. It helps the assistant coaches. It elevates the entire San Antonio Spurs team. And man, it's only the beginning of July, and I'm already excited like the season is starting tomorrow.
I'm getting excited now for this season. These 2 guys, Tobias Harris, now Billy Donovan. The Spurs are still going to have a few more moves to go. They've got a few more moves to go. And even if they don't, I mean, you still got guys that you can go, and I know there's a contract update that I got to look at here. You got guys in the background, Harrison Ingram. You've got David Jones Garcia. You still got guys you can still toy with that you've got, in your back pocket. I'm hoping David Jones Garcia does come back. I got to look at that contract though. But these two hires right now, one on the bench, one on the court, they make all the world and all the difference for the San Antonio Spurs. We got another comment in here. It says Danny Green played defense too. Yeah, Danny Green did play defense. He made a good solid effort on defense, one of the better defenders at the time. Again, mentioned Julian Champagny, he's an above average defender. I mean, he's not a bad defender, he's not an elite defender, but he can get the job done. So it's just a simple fact of he's got to elevate his offensive game to just being a sharpshooter only.
Defensively, it's not my issue at all. Champagny plays hard. I'm just talking about what they do. There's what they do best offensively. And, Danny had to learn. You saw Danny, Danny used to be in that left corner. You already know Danny Green, similar to Harrison Barnes. That's where he preferred to be. The same shot he missed against Golden State in Game 7 that could have knocked off the Warriors, if you remember. The game Steph got about 50, might have been in that game. So, but yeah, man, Champagny's a very good player. He's a sound player. Here's a question while we're on this air. Can I kind of I'm going to have to go there. So we're talking about the lineup, right? Okay, so this is how I'm penciling the lineup in. And I know some people want to push Dylan Harper to the forefront. I want the young guy to come along slowly, kind of like Kobe did. I don't want to force it because, that can hurt guys. It can have a negative effect if you put a guy out there before he's ready. Kind of like, this guy in Portland, Scoot Henderson.
Yeah.
So you don't want to rush it with Dylan Harper either. But here's my starting five for me. Right now, I'm looking at Fox, Castle, Vassell, Tobias Harris, and Victor. And people are like, but what about that big man? I'm saying right now, until we plug in a big man, because remember, a lot of times teams go what? Small ball today, right?
Yeah, their power forward usually 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah, and you got Draymond 6'6" and all that. So the game has changed. So you can go with a lineup like that. And Tobias is a power forward. If you look at his size and all that, right?
Yeah.
So he's a pretty good guy. He moves well for his size. So for me, that would be the lineup. Devin Vassell and Harper. This is the thing you and I talked about on the way here.
Yeah.
Harper. What does he rank right now? The Spurs don't know. Is he going to be the focal point, or is it going to be Victor offensively? So if you're going to make Dylan the number one option, which he's capable of, but here's the difference. I want people to understand. Right now, Dylan Harper is more of a two-guard. Manu Ginobili, he's more of a 2 than a 1.
Yeah.
And so some people don't seem to understand that. They're looking at him as a point guard. He's more, I'll call him a combo guard. And how about that?
Yeah.
So you got to figure out how you want to use him, right? So is he going to be the guy that's going to be the leading scorer? Have you thought about that? Has the fans thought about that? Is Victor really ready to be the number one option? Is that the best way for the Spurs moving forward? I love Victor, but I watched this whole season and last season, and I'm having questions of if Victor is really the number one option. Or do I want a guy like Dylan who will remind you of Kobe? At some point, Shaq kind of had to move aside a little bit, right? I'm not pushing Victor aside, but I'm just saying we have to think about that. What's best for the team? The fans here seem to love Dylan Harper. Yeah. Right now, he's just as untradeable as Victor, isn't he?
Oh, you wouldn't even dare.
Okay.
Even me, who would trade Tim Duncan, or at least I would take calls on Tim Duncan. I mean, I'll take a call on Dylan Harper, but I'm not going to.
You'll take a call on him, and that's all right now.
Yeah, I'm going to do my job.
Castle, Castle will be out the door way before Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper is untouchable right now.
You and I we call it like we see it. If you have to start Dylan Harper, that means Stephon Castle's coming off the bench.
Dylan Harper has, but Castle has star potential, right? I might even call him a star now. Other than take away the 20 turnovers in 2 games.
Semi-star.
He's played pretty much on star level. I ain't say superstar Because weren't we calling Jalen Williams a star in Oklahoma City?
Oh, they were
You
all
telling me Castle's not just as good as Jalen Williams?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a star. But when you start talking about Harper, you're talking about superstar. You're talking about George Gervin, David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Manu, Tony. You're talking about Tony Parker. We're talking about that's Dylan's ceiling. That's not Stephon Castle's ceiling.
Superstar. He was a superstar before he got to Rutgers.
Dylan Harper, we already know it's in his genes. But the guy, you could tell he works hard. He has the work ethic, right? And he has what? The swagger. That young man is not afraid of anyone. You know how I watched earlier today. It was a thing of Rasheed Wallace when he was talking about he was a freshman in college, right? And so Dean Smith wanted him to play Michael Jordan one-on-one.
Yeah.
And so he was like, nope. Oh, no. He saw what Mike was doing to the other guys, right? Now, take that same guy, Dean Smith, sending them to the locker room to go get Dylan Harper. Would Dylan Harper be afraid of Michael Jordan?
No.
Okay. That's the kind of guy I'm talking about that we want to bring to this organization. Now you got to figure out, where does he rank? Is he going to be the guy, or is he going to be the second option? Because who would you want the ball in their hands as the game's going down the stretch? Would you rather have it in Victor's hands or Dylan Harper's?
100% Harper.
Well, just want to give people something to think about.
Hey, a lot of people, I would say 98% of the fans are going to disagree with what we say on it. I'd rather have the ball in Dylan Harper's hands. Why? Because Victor catches the ball beyond the arc and he tries to do the dribble. Now, when you are 7'4", Derek, when you dribble the ball, it has a long way to go down and a long way to go back up. So you're trying to do all this razzle dazzle Pete Maravich stuff, ain't going to work. I'd rather have the ball in Dylan Harper's hands. Better ball handler, can make a better decision. And to be honest, he gets to the basket a lot easier than Victor does to me.
Victor's kind of clumsy. If you look at some of the moves, sometimes he's falling around, and he can't help it. I mean, the guy, it's a lot of limbs he got. So it's not intentional, but when you watch some of the times, even his landings are funny, kind of like a giraffe. And Victor, I'm just having fun. I'm just saying, a giraffe had trouble getting down to drink water and all that, right? Because they don't like to get low. Yeah. And so I look at Victor. Sometimes we know what we got here. He's a superstar, but sometimes it's questionable. He makes questionable decisions offensively. When we need him down low, he's out there at the 3-point line, like you said. Yeah. And then he tries to ball fake, which I don't mind. But when he puts it on the floor after 2 or 3 dribbles, I'm a little nervous. I got to be honest.
Yeah.
So, Dylan Harper is a guy that's already proven he's the metal, man. The guy's just tough. So we still have some things to figure out with the current lineup. And that's something they're going to have to figure out this summer. Who's going to be that guy that gets the ball first? Just like every other team. Is it Embiid? Is it Maxey? Was it Tatum? Was it Brown? Yeah, was it LeBron? Was it Luka? That's wherever we go. They're going to have to figure that out here in San Antonio as well.
We're going to get into that NBA talking a little bit here. Jeff's got a couple more things. He says, fellas, so far the San Antonio Spurs don't have bigs. That's still a big issue. I mean, you went and drafted 3 big guys, if I'm not mistaken. Terrace Reed is going to be playing in the summer league starting tomorrow. You won't get Jaden Quaintance probably this season. I think he's going to sit out the entire season. I would hope he would. But you got Terrace Reed, you got Luke Cornett. You're probably going to go get another big somewhere. I mean, I doubt that they're just going to settle with 3 guys, one of them being a rookie for this offseason. I'm not too concerned with the big guy issue just yet. We haven't even hit summer league. There's still a good amount of free agents out there. We have no idea who's going to be cut, a la DeMar DeRozan is going to be cut or waived by Sacramento. You may see other guys get waived around the league because they're just not tradable. Spurs could pick up a big man like that. I mean, we really don't know right now. But you think the big man issue is even a concern for you right now this early in the offseason?
This early, no, but I do have a question. Why did we even let Mahmoud Kalashvili leave? Mahmoud Kalashvili. That's how you said his name. Look it up if you don't believe me. Mahmoud Kalashvili shooting that left-handed jumper. And you see, he just got a new deal.
Big one from him.
So, yeah, another guy who could stretch the floor, right?
Yeah.
So now we're going to have to look at and I wonder why they won't give Kelly Olynyk opportunity. I know he likes to shoot at the 3-point line and all that, But I thought he's big enough where I thought you could plug him in, down low defensively. I definitely thought you could plug in Plumlee.
Well, yeah, that's what I
No one's going to convince me differently than Plumlee. I mean, I like Biyombo, but out of those three, Miles Plumlee, man, the guy has proven everywhere he's went. He's a guy that's going to give you effort, and he makes things happen when you least expect it. And so that was like the biggest surprise of the Spurs whole season was him not playing. And then, of course, I talked to you about Harrison Barnes against Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
But for me, the biggest surprise of all was Plumlee just sitting there, just wasting away at the end of the bench, man. I didn't understand that.
A lot of things to figure out. Before we go to our first commercial break, again, shout out to Salem Surround and also shout out to Navarro Roofing, a new sponsor here for us here at the Sports Answer. Jeff is asking, is Keldon Johnson, did y'all notice after the Tobias signing?
No, he's on notice after averaging 3 points.
Yeah, in the finals.
That had nothing to do with Tobias. That had everything to do with Keldon.
Tobias is the perfect insurance policy for this case to happen.
You cannot, okay, there's some guys, there's certain things you can't do, right?
Yeah.
You can bring up people like Ben Simmons. There's certain things we just can't overlook. You can't be the sixth man of the year. And I love Keldon.
Yeah.
I met him. I told you he's a good man. You cannot be the sixth man of the year and then you average 3 points in the finals. Are you kidding me? So, yes, he's on notice.
And I had a guy ask me on X earlier, does this make Keldon pretty much on notice? And is he tradable? And I said, well, yeah, I mean, he's got the contract that fit just about any trade. And
who do you know that average 3 that's not tradable?
Well, he averaged 3 points more than I did.
Other than Bronny James, possibly. And he might be on the trading block now. So
I liked how Giannis got traded, and then they're letting both of his brothers know, hey, we're going to waive you. LeBron tells the Lakers, and it's weird because LeBron tells the Lakers after they guaranteed Bronny his contract, then LeBron says, I'm gone, so you're stuck with Bronny. Now what do you do? I mean, I think my wife, I love her to death. She's like, Bronny's going to be the Laker. Yeah, I said, well, he's going to be like the 12th, 13th man on that roster. He's just got a guaranteed contract. They got to fill the roster with that $2 or $3 million guy.
His dad was on point with that move, though.
Yeah.
He waited. He didn't leave until they signed Bronny that $2.5 million. Once they guaranteed it, the next day he let them know he was leaving, right?
Yeah.
So that's a great business move, and I got to give LeBron a lot of credit for that. Can't be mad. Somebody told me about nepotism. I was like, oh, hello. The NBA is full of nepotism, NFL, professional sports. And we talking about the higher, the upper office.
Yeah.
So this guy did something good for his son, and I was glad to see it. So we'll see what happens with Bronny. But, yeah, the NBA is exciting.
Very exciting. We got more NBA talk here on the way back. Derek Irvin, Rudy Campos Jr., that's your Spurs segment. We've got big move between Philly and Boston. Brown going to Philly, playoff part-time P going to Boston. Picks going to, it's just a big mess. We're going to get into the NBA talk. Also, Derek's got some stuff he wants to talk about when it comes to the Caitlin Clark incident. And then towards the end, a little bit of NFL fun here with the season about to kick off here in a little while, actually, a few months, actually, I think is what it is. There's a group of quarterbacks that I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you the names. I don't know if you can see them. You got to eliminate one. And I kind of already know where you're going with it, but there's a guy on there that I actually saw people say, no, you can't. You can't do that. You have to keep him and get rid of this guy. I'm like, come on. No, you can't. Confusing, yes, but we'll get into it here in a little bit, man. It's Derek Irvin. It's Rudy Campos Jr. Here's a word from Navarro Roofing.
Can I help you?
Yes, madam. I'm a roofing contractor, and I'm giving out 3 estimates to lucky homeowners today. Would you like one?
Nancy, don't do it! Wait, who said that?
Up here, Nancy! I'm your roof! Be careful, that guy is not a roofer!
Yes, I am. And I have a brand new shining ladder to prove it.
Well, where's your ladder?
Right there in my truck. The one with the Michigan license plate.
Nancy, why don't you call Navarro Roofing? They're the ones who replaced me last time. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and they've been in business since 1968.
I remember my dad used them to replace our roof when I was just a kid. I'm going to call Navarro Roofing. Besides, they did my neighbor's house, and it looks amazing. And the cleanup was excellent.
Before you let anyone talk you into a good deal, call the Chamber of Commerce and see if they're actually local. Navarro Roofing is local and supports our local business.
That's the best call I ever made. Thanks, Roof.
Don't trust out-of-state storm chasers. Trust the name Texas has relied on for generations. Call Navarro Roofing today at 210-680-5070 or visit navarrosroofing.com.
All right, welcome back to what is supposed to be the Friday drive, but we're on Thursday, so this is the Thursday night delight. It's going to be Derek Gervin, Rudy Campos Jr. here on Answer Now TV. Shout out to Navarro Roofing, another sponsor of us here on the Sports Answer, plus also Salem Surround. Contact them today if you want to be that world champion in digital marketing. That's Salem Surround. And again, shout out to our newest sponsor, Navarro Roofing. Derek, we spent a whole lot of time on the Spurs. We normally don't spend that much time on local teams, but everybody want to talk a little bit about Spurs, a little bit about Spurs. We talk about that. What's the breaking news? Billy Donovan is your new head assistant coach, associate head coach for the San Antonio Spurs. Magnificent hire. We were wondering, Sean Sweeney gone. We've seen that in the NFL with the Detroit Lions. They lose their coach staff. Other staffs lose their defensive coordinators. They kind of go downhill. Spurs in the same situation without Sean Sweeney. They're probably not that great of a defensive team. They're up there, maybe top 10, top 15, but not as great as they were this year. But then they go out and get Billy Donovan. Perfect hire. Absolute perfect hire. That was the breaking news. What do you got?
Out of all of that stuff you just said, how did you end up throwing Detroit under the bus?
Because I'm surrounded by Detroiters here, and I've got to, I got to throw in my cheap shots here.
Did y'all hear him just take a shot at my hometown, my Detroit Lions? Boy, I tell you, it's friends.
Hey, at least, you don't have to go through the Super Bowl misery of a 28-3 loss that I've had to endure for years.
Wait now.
Years.
Wait now. Hold on. Let's back up a little. Because if I remember correctly, Shemaiah is from Michigan as well. You're talking about blowing a Super Bowl lead. When have we ever been in the Super Bowl?
I get that.
So
I get that. And I know Detroit's never been to a Super Bowl, but how does it feel to get there twice and always the bridesmaid, never the bride?
Who did you lose to, though?
I mean, do you really want me to relive?
You got to factor that in somewhat, because certain guys that they're never done. Guys like even Patrick Mahomes today, you have to put his team away, right?
Yeah,
and that's what they didn't do. They had opportunities in the first half. I'm not even going by the 28. They had a chance to have 42, and so stuff happens.
I know, and I'm truly convinced, Derek, I'm never going to see a Super Bowl title in my lifetime by the Falcons. I've got them in last place in the division this year. I literally have them in last.
I think I'm starting to, Arthur Blanks is up there now, getting up there.
He's drawing a blank.
I believe he's got to the point now, kind of like Jerry Jones, as far as I have to get this team to a certain point. I want to win my way. But I think they've made some moves. They're going to make them a better team. They're not going to be Super Bowl contender this year.
No.
But you have to start somewhere. And I think they've made some good moves, even when they brought in their quarterback. Do you still believe in that quarterback yet?
No.
You don't believe in Mr. Penny. Do you still don't? Why?
Drafted way too high. I don't like that. And I mean, I like him, but I don't like the fact that he's having to start right away.
Oh, kind of reminds me of back to Dylan Harper, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can admit the Dylan part.
Well, I'm just saying.
I can admit the Penix part too. I just don't feel. And you go out and get Tua. Now Tua, when he's playing, he's good. He can get you wins, but I don't trust the health on Tua.
Yeah.
That just tells me all I need to know about Tua.
I'm gonna let Tyreek Hill talk about him. I'm not even gonna go there, man. I loved Tua when he was in college. I loved him the first year or two in the league, but after that, I mean,
Alabama quarterback?
He's Jameis Winston.
Well, I know. Why do you think I have them in last place? If you want to go NFC South, I have the Saints, Panthers, Buccaneers, Falcons. That's my ranking for the NFC South right now. Now, I'm not saying the Saints are 12-5, but I think 9-10 wins gets it in that division, and I have the Saints number 1 in that division.
Hey, before we get back to basketball, I want to mention these 3 guys. Who would you pick? How would you rank them? Geno Smith.
Geez, that's not a good start.
Tua.
Oh, God, Derek.
Well, and then you got the guy who just moved around, the little 5'7" guy.
I would
Kyler Murray.
If I'm ranking them now, I'm going Kyler, Geno, Tua.
All right.
Kyler at least has a decent amount of weapons.
Wow, you got Tua third. He's falling off that much.
I mean, yeah. I probably because he's a quarterback for my team now, and I don't trust. I barely trusted Matt Ryan after that Super Bowl.
You know when they really went wrong in Miami? What's that guy they brought in, the coach? The young guy that they have?
Dan. Oh, God. I know. He's on the tip of my tongue.
See, I don't even want you to know his name because he kind of reminds me of the gentleman that the Jets brought in a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Was doing an interview.
Oh.
Okay. So yeah, we'll move right along.
Rocky Garza, shout out to the Rock, man. Former Sweep the League member here. Rocky Garza. What's up, boys? What up, Rock? How you doing? Can the San Antonio Spurs start a 3-guard lineup next season? That's a question by Jeff. Fox, Harper, Castle. I think, yeah. I mean, I don't mind seeing that lineup at all, to be honest with you.
They're already starting a 3-guard lineup.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they're
Fox, Castle, Vassell.
Well, they're talking about putting Harper with Fox and Castle in that back.
But what are you going to do with Vassell?
You can put him at the 4. I mean,
so he's becoming the odd man out.
No. I'm not starting. Just play. If Vassell's on a break, he's on a rest. Go with a backcourt of Harper, Castle, and Fox. Just not to start.
Only thing I don't like about that is Harper's not like a knockdown 3-point shooter yet.
Yeah.
Castle's definitely not a knockdown 3-point shooter yet.
No.
Certain guys are guys that have to get theirs within the flow of the offense. So I like Devin Vassell as a guy that can get his outside of the offense.
Yeah.
So you could try that lineup. I guess you can use any lineup if you're going to do it in, periodically, 4 or 5 minute intervals. That I can understand, but that's something once again they'll figure out. But isn't it good to have all those kind of options and all those things all that time to figure out? Yeah, because there's nothing but positives that we're talking about. So they just got some things to figure out, but they got all the pieces. Now it's just putting the puzzle together.
Yeah, and Rock's back in here, and he did ask a question as far as free agency goes. We're getting into a lot of those here. I says, what's the one free agent out there that you think the Spurs should end up going after? I'm going off the top of my head here. I mean, Rui Hachimura is probably the number 1 guy that I have there, but kind of points to the fact that Rui kind of wants to follow LeBron, probably is what they're thinking. But if not, I mean, Rui's definitely one guy that I can definitely see the Spurs going after. You got anyone else, or you think that's pretty much the only guy you can think of?
Rui was my guy, even over Tobias. I just thought he fit perfectly, kind of like OG Anunoby for the Knicks.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm looking out there. I don't know, man, because you see Grady Dick got moved as well.
Yeah.
It's hard. Guys like Scotty Barnes seem like they're not on the trading block. There's not many guys out there right now that you could plug in. And so I think Tobias was the right addition. I mean, you look around the league. Philly was in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Maxey played well.
Yeah.
Edgecombe got a rookie introduction, basically, right? Yeah. Who was their second best player? Who was their second best player throughout the playoffs? Who was the most consistent? Their second most consistent player. That was Tobias Harris.
Yeah, Tobias. I mean, that's why I said I love the Tobias signing. It makes a lot of sense, answers a lot of questions, gives them that veteran guy, especially when they see them struggling in the fourth quarter, going back to the finals. Tobias is a guy that can go get you a bucket. He can stop that run by New York, maybe get that key rebound that OG got. I mean, there's a lot of different things Tobias has.
He won one of the games pretty much almost by himself. Yeah. He had 30-something. He had a breakout night.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's not capable. But once again, it goes back to he's a guy that you can bring into your offense. He can do anything that you ask of him, and he's not going to gripe about it. He's just going to show up and play. And he's a guy that players want to play with. So for me, it was I give the Spurs an A on that move.
Rock did mention a guy, Gary Payton Jr. It's what they're saying that he saw reports of Gary Payton Jr. So that
what does he do for our team? We already got Stephon Castle, Rocky.
I don't know.
I'm just saying he's not a shooter. He's a guy that's going to run the floor and get dunks. We already got a guy that's doing that by the name of Stephon Castle.
Yeah, I mean, it's just reports.
We don't need any more guards.
And then let me give a quick shout out here. The Continental Football League champions this year, the San Antonio Toros, their first full season. They are the champions of the Continental Football League. Shout out to Jeff Garcia was covering them today. So shout out to them as well. Jeff also has a football question, NFL question, but we'll get into that here in just a little bit. Free agency, man. We got some free agency talk here before we go into other subjects here. This is it. So the biggest one that we saw, and you see the graphic there. Let me bring up the other graphic, the Brown trade. So Philadelphia sends Jaylen Brown Boston sends Jaylen Brown to Philadelphia. Philly sends Paul George, 2 first rounds. I think it's unprotected first round and 2 first round swaps or second rounds or whatever. Get the details somewhere else. All I know is the NBA world, the basketball world, the media world, everybody is on the Boston got fleeced type of thing. Now, yes, you probably could have got a fool's gold haul for Jaylen Brown somewhere else. There's no doubt about that. But you look at this, and people are saying this is the worst trade, worse than the Luka trade, because at least they got Anthony Davis in return. You know, Boston's getting playoff P, and that's it. But I'm just giving you the details that I've heard. Now, for me, I get the Jaylen Brown move. The only thing that confuses me is it's within the division, a division that's getting to be pretty loaded with the Knicks off of a championship run, the Raptors who got Kawhi Leonard back, and all they did was lose Brandon Ingram and Grady Dick, but Brandon Ingram mainly. Now you've got Boston who traded Jaylen Brown to a division rival, Philadelphia, coming off of their first round win over the Boston Celtics. This division just got crazy.
Soap opera.
Yeah. I think I'm going to follow this division all next year.
It's like a soap opera.
Like crazy.
Now, didn't Boston also get 2 first round picks?
They did.
And 2 second round picks?
They did.
So and then Paul George.
Yeah.
So if I'm correct, isn't Paul George a Hall of Famer? He's gonna be he's gonna be a Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah, I mean, sure.
So when people say they got fleeced, let me hear this again. They got 2 first round picks, they got 2 second round picks, and they got Paul George. Where's the fleecing? I don't get it. And here's the thing: a healthy Paul George played quite well in the playoffs, if I remember correctly, just this past season, a month and a half ago.
They did.
He played quite well.
He did.
And if you look at it, okay, I'm going to give you a quick quiz and the fans as well. I want y'all at least write in and tell me. If you're just going by skill set, who has a better skill set, Paul George or Jaylen Brown?
At least Paul George can go left. I mean,
what about passing the ball?
Paul George.
Okay. What about range?
Paul George.
Off the dribble, we just talked about.
Can go both sides.
Okay.
Can go both hands.
So a healthy Paul George has a better skill set than Jaylen Brown, who won MVP a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So there's no fleecing. This can help both teams. Philly just became better if there's a healthy Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
See, people talking about Paul George and all his injuries. What about Joel Embiid? How many games has he played? Who's been healthier throughout their career? Paul George or Joel Embiid?
George.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out where this fleecing is coming from. Paul George is going to a team that won a championship. How many years ago? 2?
2 years ago.
Paul George and Jason Tatum. Have you thought about that combo? We're talking about a healthy Paul George and a healthy Jason Tatum.
I mean, I can see it.
Okay, tell me this. If they're both healthy, do they have potential to be a better duo than Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
They do. And they're deep. They have a deeper team.
I'm just saying. A healthy Paul George is a dangerous guy.
Yeah.
Playoff P, I don't know if we're going to have to change that name right now until he gets a little more consistent.
Wasn't it part-time P right now?
Well, he fixed it. He kind of took, he kind of got some of his shine back, though, in the playoffs, right?
Okay.
Because he didn't remember now. He was also out most of the season.
Or was it podcast P?
Well, because he was out most of the season, right? And then when he came back, for a guy that came back when he did, don't you think he played quite well?
Yeah, he did.
So here's the thing. Can we get into the entire situation?
Sure.
People are trying to figure out why the trade happened. Okay, I'm going to bring this up. There are certain organizations. We're talking about the Boston Celtics, 18 championships, right?
Yeah.
No one has more. There are certain expectations when you play for certain organizations. Do you know that notice that Steph is not always vocal? When the Draymond stuff was going on, how often have you heard Steph?
Zero.
He stayed in his lane, right?
Yeah.
So now you got Jaylen Brown, who they gave a contract that'd be what, $60 million a year eventually coming up?
Coming up, yeah.
So now you bring him in, give him this big contract, right? Ever since then, he's been doing a lot of talking, hasn't he?
Absolutely.
We've heard about his intelligence. There's another guy who used to play sports by the name of Sterling Brown. Look that up. Started talking about how smart he was.
Mm-hmm.
We know he's intelligent, but just because you are, you don't always have to go out and talk in the media, social media. And then you see he got into it with Stephen A. Smith recently, right?
Yeah.
So he's been doing a lot of things. These might be things that the Boston Celtics don't want for their organization. And then to top it off, he's doing this talking, and now you got to get down to the biggest thing. He made a comment after they blew a 3-1 lead, right? They get knocked out in the first round. By who?
His new team.
Okay. And then he makes a comment. It was his most fun season of his career. Okay. So basically what you're doing is you're stabbing your other superstar in the back.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Kobe saying that when Shaq's hurt? Oh, that was my best year, even though we got knocked out in the first round. So after that, tell me how you can bring those two back to play together. You can't.
You can't.
Jaylen Brown talked himself out of Boston. And I've read people talking to me, Derek, he has a right to voice his opinion. He has a right to say this. He has a right to say that. We all have a right.
And they have a right to trade you.
Exactly, because I have a right to say some things on this microphone right now. But I know if I say them, there's a chance I might not be back next week. So it's just fighting your battles, choosing when to fight your battles. And Jaylen Brown didn't do that. And so he obviously upset some people in the organization. Would you agree with that?
I 100% agree.
Okay, and then Brad Stevens comes out, talks about we want to keep him here, which you already knew after that.
Yeah,
we want him to retire here, but and so that right there told me a week ago he was gone. I didn't know what team, but it was inevitable that he would be gone.
For all you young kids out there, I'm gonna tell you right now, if your coach is talking to you and you're in a press conference and your coach says Derek Gervin is a part of this team, he's our man. He's going to retire a Roadrunner. He's the absolute heart of this organization. If there is nothing after that, you can believe it. But it's that 2 or 3 second pause when he says, but we kind of need to look at this. We kind of need to do this. Derek's right. Start packing your bags, kids, because you're on the move. You're either off the team or you're getting traded.
You know what's really interesting now? Okay, say Embiid is healthy, right?
Yeah.
Now you bring in another guy who's vocal because Embiid can be vocal.
Just a little bit.
What does that do? This is what I'm worried about. Tyrese Maxey just had a breakout season.
Yeah.
So now you bring in Jaylen Brown. So doesn't that take the ball out of Maxey's hands somewhat some of the time?
Affects Edgecombe too.
Well, I was going to get to him, but right now I'm just talking about Maxey, who had the all-star season. Yeah. So now you bring in Jaylen Brown. So Maxey's role changes a little bit, right? No different than De'Aaron Fox when he came here. Yeah. Automatically your role change. That's the things I'm worried about. And then VJ Edgecombe. Because just 3-4 months ago, we were just talking about the new best duo possibly in the backcourt. These two young studs. Yeah. And so now you bring in Jaylen Brown. How does that change the dynamics of the team? And you also got Jaylen still saying he want to be an MVP again. You know, he wants to be the best player in the league. Mm-hmm. And you got Joel Embiid, who's still trying to figure out, is it my team or is it Maxey's team? See, you and I know it's Maxie's team when they are both healthy right now, right?
Yeah.
But you still need Embiid to get those touches. And now you bring in Jaylen Brown. So now we started looking at the shots that guys are getting. It could affect a lot of things. So, it looks good on paper what they got, but they got a lot of things they have to figure out as well. Probably more things than Boston has to figure out.
Yeah, their bench outside of Dean Wade.
Oh boy, I told you about that bench. Porty and those guys, they got a good bench. I'll say because they're NBA players, but going into the season, those are not the guys you want to go into the heat of battle with. So they are going to have to severely upgrade their bench.
Yeah, they still got a lot more moves to do. I even think the Celtics have a move left in them, picking up these extra draft picks. I mean, they can easily go and trade for another guy. I mean, another star to go next to these guys.
Why did Philly let Quentin Grimes go? I'm just saying. Didn't he just get a new deal?
I don't know.
Didn't he just go to the Lakers?
Went to the Lakers. And the Lakers decided to open up the vault when LeBron said bye-bye.
I'm just saying. So I'm just trying to figure out Philly and Boston. You give up Quentin Grimes. And so
a lot of teams got better. I mean, and that's something that you and I talked about was now with the tanking issue, because Adam Silver said, if you're the worst team in the league, you have the worst chances to get the number 1 pick. So now you see all these teams starting to get better. We're not going to see Utah on the bottom anymore.
Wait, say that again, man. That just goes to prove what kind of world we living in right now. Say that again.
I said
the worst team.
Adam Silver said, if you're the worst team in the league, you're not going to have the best opportunity to get the number 1 pick.
The worst team in the league, but you don't get the opportunity to get the best pick. I mean, I'm just saying, man, our society, we got a lot of backwards thinking. Shouldn't they get the best opportunity? It's not set in stone, but they should have the best opportunity, right?
I think they should have the best opportunity, but again, they're so worried about tanking. They're so worried about teams tank. There's one solution to tanking. There's one ping pong ball for every team in the lottery. You don't put 50 or 500 for the Knicks and then 2 for the Spurs.
No, Patrick Ewing days.
I mean, that is that's the most legitimate way to do it. One ping pong ball for each team. Do it on live TV. It's like bingo. When we go play bingo, we see that ball pop up. That's the first number.
But you're talking about those 14 teams. The lotto.
Every team in that lottery gets 1 ball, and you do it live on TV. So if you're the Jazz and you're like, well, we have 10 wins on the season, we're the worst team. I don't care. Doesn't mean you deserve the worst chances to get a number 1 pick. It just means you have the same chance as the 14th worst team in the league. That's it. So every team should just get 1 ball. That's it. And whatever falls, it falls. Not you can't fall below 3, but you can't get 1. So because you don't get 1, you can't get lower than 4. It's confusing. It can't be that confusing, man. I mean, it's terrible the way they do things.
Only good thing about it makes these other teams play harder.
That's what I'm saying. Now you're starting to see Utah's not going to struggle anymore.
You can't sit around and tank and all that, and you might just be tanking for no reason. Yeah, you go 9-73. You didn't tie the Philadelphia 76ers record, and you get the 14th.
You get the 14th pick. What are you going to do now?
So you might as well at least try to get 20 wins then.
So we got creative coaching podcasts. There was no way they could have brought Jaylen Brown because they tried to move him twice. So, yeah, I mean, the conversation that Brad Stevens and Jaylen Brown probably would have been very hard on them both for having, hey, we got to bring you back. We got to bring you back. Imagine if they pulled a Baltimore Raven and said, hey, guess what? Paul George did not pass the physical, trades off. Sending Max Crosby back to the Raiders because the physical's off.
Excuse me.
Imagine that happened.
But Rudy, if you really look at it, they had no recourse. I mean, the only recourse they had was to move him.
Yeah.
There was nothing else they could do for the organization. You got to look at all those guys. You still got Derek White and all those guys, right?
Yeah.
Pritchard, Peyton Pritchard and those guys. So you still got a pretty good roster.
Still got Hauser. I mean,
yeah, they still got a good roster. So for both teams, I told you they still could end up. When I said 1 and 2, I know it's early, but we make our predictions early.
Yeah.
going into I would already say if you went into the season healthy, those would be my first two teams to be those would be my lead guys in the Eastern Conference. I love my Detroit Pistons. They still have some more moves to make. I know it's not going to be just Isaiah Joe
or John Collins.
The Knicks, I don't think the Knicks are going to be as formidable as they already lost Mitchell Robinson. I think that was huge
because they lost the other backup center. They have nobody behind
Huck Porty.
Yeah, they already lost both of their.
And
backups.
Who was the guy that got the most crucial rebound in the championship? Wasn't that last rebound Mitchell Robinson? He threw it back out.
Yeah.
So he's gone. So that's going to be the dynamics change with their team. But I think both of those teams will still do well. All the other teams are trying to come up, the Charlottes and the Torontos and all that.
Yeah.
But I believe Boston and Philly are already there going into the season. We already said Philly has to upgrade their bench. But if you look at that five that they have, their first five is pretty good. That's a playoff five.
That is.
It's just building now, just finding guys to piece around them.
That is. Jeff, I saw your question about the Knicks not getting respect after winning the title. Gets out here. We got our last commercial break here. Again, it's Derek Irvin's Rudy Campos Jr. It's the Thursday Night Delight edition of the Sports Answer. When we get back, going to give Derek the mic on the WNBA talk, and then we'll finish it off with the NFL quarterback talk. It'll be a real quick, fast last segment here on the Sports Answer, brought to you by Navarro Roofing and Salem Surround. We'll be back.
Looking for the inside track on the silver and black? From deep dive analysis to breaking news on Wemby and the squad, get it all at Spurs in Focus. Join veteran beat writer Jeff Garcia for the ultimate one-stop spot for all things San Antonio Spurs. Subscribe now at spursinfocus.substack.com.
Billboards, gas stations, gyms, grocery stores, and more.
Salem Media puts your brand in front of San Antonio wherever life takes them.
Call 210-526-3626. Call 210-526-3626 and get noticed.
You know your business inside and out, but does your community? With Salem Media's podcast and video production services, you can share your expertise and connect with customers on their commute or wherever they listen. We handle production and distribution, so your content reaches the right ears on multiple podcast platforms. Stop letting competitors own the conversation. Call Salem Media today and ask about our local business podcast packages. Call Chris at 210-526-3631. 210-526-3631.
All right, welcome back to the Sports Answer. It is the Thursday Night Delight edition of the Sports Answer. It's Derek Irvin, Rudy Campos Jr. Shot Salem Surround, and our newest sponsor here, Navarro Roofing. Contact them today. Need that new roof? Or hey, you know what? We're in South Texas, Derek. We get hailstorms like all the time. Roofing is going to be a need and concern for you guys. Contact the best in the business. That's Navarro Roofing, proud sponsors over here on the Sports Answer. And I'm gonna give you the mic on this one because I love the WNBA. I do. I mean, I'm one of the few guys that will openly admit that I watch the games. My family watches the games. We love watching it, but we love basketball in general. I mean, I've watched it since its inception, you know, back with Cynthia Cooper and all them too. Loved it. Still love it to this day. But an incident happened between Alyssa Thomas, assessed flagrant 2, and a 1-game suspension over what happened with Caitlin Clark. Of course, media frenzy with it as well over the Caitlin Clark issue with Alyssa Thomas. What do you got, Derek?
Well, excuse me. This is a touchy subject for me, and this is not to offend anyone, but you know, someone will get offended, whatever you say. So, Caitlin Clark. We know that Asia Wilson has won the MVPs or whatever, but Caitlin Clark right now is currently the face of the league. It is what it is. And so you look at going back to college with her and Angel Reese. And I have to go back there because that's where it all started. With Angel making the gesture after they knocked off Caitlin in Iowa. And ever since then, man, sadly, we remember even there was talk about going to the White House and all of that. And Iowa got invited to the White House, even though they didn't win.
Yeah.
And so hopefully you guys remember that and the fans remember that. I do. And so that started a firestorm right there, okay? And sadly, we watched it become a race thing. Caitlin was they were invited there because she's white and you know all that stuff. And it's sad, man, because we talking about adults out here, right? And a lot of people are just adults by age. I'm just gonna be real. This incident, this is crazy. We're talking about black and white. The incident that happened the other day with Alyssa Thomas, it was wrong. What she did, putting her fist on Caitlin's neck, was wrong. But people have blown it out of proportion. They acting like it was similar, and this is serious. This is what I've heard. Some people act like this was the same situation, but reversed because of the color of the not Rodney King, George Floyd situation.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's insane. We're talking about basketball here. The young lady got fouled. Yes, she's been getting fouled. She's getting her introduction into the NBA, to the WNBA, right? Yeah. What do people expect them to do when you have someone that's as popular as Caitlin that's coming into the league? You're going to fight for your spot. You don't want to be replaced just because Caitlin's coming in. You still want to be known. You're still trying to grow your brand, right? So things are going to happen. Caitlin is not an angel. She's made some plays that were not above board.
You said that.
Every player in the league has made a play that they regret and wish that they could take back. But to turn it into a racial thing, it's insane. You have some fans, and they can get mad at me. I'm going to be honest. Some fans never watched basketball in their lives until 2 years ago, maybe 3, when Caitlin Clark came on the scene, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to be straight. I know they want the great white hope. I'm just being real. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's still just basketball. We don't want to make this a life and death situation. Alyssa Thomas says she's getting threats, and I believe it. Because I've seen how some of Caitlin's fans, the fake fans, I'll call them. You've got her real fans, and then some people call the other ones their MAGA fans. I'm putting it out there. I've heard all of this. And so I'm not getting in the middle of that. I'm an independent, just so everybody knows. Okay? But now we've got it too. We got people, we're talking about Democrats and Republicans. We're identifying people as Democrats and Republicans. We're identifying basketball players as black or white. You're picking a side. And then people are saying that, well, we can't be prejudiced to black folks because I like Paige Beckers. I like this Caucasian lady. I like that one, right? To even have to explain yourself. We're in sad times. And I just want people to understand what this is really about. Caitlin Clark is doing something great for the WNBA, but so is Angel Reese. So is Alyssa Thomas, Paige Beckers. All these ladies are contributing something great. The league is continuing to grow. So they're on an upward spiral, which is a great thing. You don't want to tear it down when we start talking about the racial black and white. The only reason you like her is because she's black. The only reason you like Caitlin is because she's white. To me, that's insane. And I had to bring that out there because Alyssa Clark paid her dues. She was suspended. We should be moving forward. We should not be talking about Caitlin Clark showing videos for the next 6 months of someone reaching down, putting their hand on her neck. Caitlin Clark is doing fine. She doesn't need your help. I'm glad that you appreciate her as a ball player. You appreciate her as a person. So do I. But at the end of the day, all I want to do is see good basketball. And that right there should be what is over everything else. Let's stop talking about race. Let's get back to some sense of normalcy. Let's remember these kids out here. Hello? Do we remember the kids sending positive messages to them, leading by example, teaching them to only like someone because of the color of their skin is not teaching what life is really about. So I'm hoping that we can do better as a society, and I'm hoping that the WNBA can figure this out. Kathy Engelbert, I know you've got some work to do, but we're going to support you, and I just hope things work out, and I just hope people realize this is just a game. It's not life and death.
Yeah, it's a game. And speaking of the game, Derek, DraftKings just released ESPN released through DraftKings the rankings of the top 50 WNBA players in the league right now. Number 1 and 2 is Asia Wilson, deservedly so, and Kelsey Plum over Caitlin Clark at 3. I confused Kelsey Plum at 2 or 1. I see Olivia Miles playing way better. Paige Beckers, I think, deserves a spot up there. I mean, I think that kind of confused me for Kelsey Plum being a top 2 player in the league right now.
Is she even playing right now?
I don't think she's
okay.
playing.
She's not even playing right now. And so
That
why,
kinda threw me
if you're
back.
going by people that are not playing, why isn't Nafisha Collier not up there?
She would be too.
Okay, so I'm just saying, but who cares, man? It's tough. If you're, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care, man. All I'm trying to do is get my team ready so we can win the chip, and all that other stuff. The people are going to rank you wherever they want to rank you, right?
Yeah.
You still got people today after 24 years, Gary B, year 24. Still, some feel LeBron is the greatest. Some feel he's number 2. Some don't even have him in the top 10. Some have him between 7 and 10. So people gonna just always have their opinions. At the end of the day, it's just come out and keep doing your job and keep trying to get better at it, right? And that's what it's really about.
And here we go with the opinion part, because now our last subject here, our last topic, we got the quarterbacks here. I need you to eliminate one quarterback, Derek. I was asked. Now, I give you the names: Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Montana, Dan Marino. Kind of the obvious ones. We'll go to the last 2 here. Ben Roethlisberger and Aaron Rodgers. You got to eliminate one. I know you're not eliminating any of the top 6 that I named. So it's probably going to be between Rodgers and Roethlisberger. Which one is
I
it?
enjoyed the movie Big Ben. I know a lot of young people never heard of it, but I'm removing Big Ben Roethlisberger.
You are removing Big Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, you know, I like Ben. He did some good things, okay? But I'm going by the list that you gave me.
That's the list that was there.
And when I'm looking at that, he would be, for me, it would be Ben. I can't eliminate Aaron Rodgers. I mean, three MVPs?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it would have to be Ben. And it's not that Ben was not a great player. It's just out of the list. And maybe this will help people with my list. When I do my top 10, I can only, if you do a top 10, you can only pick 10.
Yeah.
I might have 15 in my head, but I'm only picking 10. And so that means the other 5 are my honorable mentions. Yeah. Ben Roethlisberger goes on my honorable mention. And I got to say this to end. Why does Ben not get to some of the same flack that Karl Malone got? I'm gonna leave it at that. That's another show, but I'm just saying.
That's why this is the Thursday Night Delight edition, because you're getting delightful stuff here from Derek on it. But I don't know why he doesn't get that. And to be honest, it was between Ben and Aaron for me.
Great player though. I mean, you missed the guys you mentioned are all top notch guys. So I think Ben was fantastic.
I mean, you're leaving guys off like John Elway on that group, who's clearly above Ben and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, those 6 guys originally, I can't put anybody above them. I mean, but you're talking John Elway all time.
So I got a question for you, and this is just your top 3. Who would be your top 3 quarterbacks all time?
Montana, in no particular order, Montana, Marino, Brady would be my 3. And I was called crazy when I said I'd put Dan Marino above everybody. And everybody says I'm crazy because, well, he doesn't win a Super Bowl. I get that. But, I mean, Dan Marino was, good God, man.
I'll take Dan Marino over Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, God, yeah. I'd take Dan Marino.
I'm just saying, folks. I'll take Dan Marino over Peyton Manning. Now, that for me,
I would take that.
Peyton Manning is a top 3 quarterback for me. The reason I say that is Omaha, that man, the basket, I mean, his IQ, right?
Yeah.
He had that. He's kind of like a John Stockton out on the football field.
Yeah.
And that meant something to me. Peyton is going to win, right? Him and Elway were kind of very similar, right?
Yeah.
So a guy like, for me, I would have Brady, I would have Montana, and I'm Peyton Manning. Those would be my 3, and then Marino would be my 4th.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's list. Nobody can argue list. Nobody can argue. It's everybody's own personal list, personal opinions on it. The reason why sports has gone crazy sometimes is because we argue over the weirdest things, and it's always rankings and this and that. Just enjoy the game. That goes for everybody. Any game out there, it just comes back to one thing. Just enjoy the game, man. Derek, we are out of time tonight. Shout out again to Navarro Roofing, new sponsor of us here on The Sports Answer. Again, you can find the Sports Answer on Answer Now TV. Be sure to subscribe so you can get myself and Derek Gervin throughout the week. Also, you can get Spurs in Focus on there as well. And again, shout out to Salem Surround, who have kept us going here on the Sports Answer. Love you guys out there. Y'all be safe on this 4th of July weekend. Don't pull, who was it? John Pierre Paul, JPP. Don't
lose the finger.
Don't pull a JPP and do a firework in your hand or something. Be safe out there, man. You got to be safe.
And then his career, his career was never the same after that. We talking about a guy with Hall of Fame potential.
Yeah.
Made a mistake, trying to have fun, careless fun, and look what happened. So everybody, please be safe out there. And as far as the Ben Roethlisberger, I want to make sure I clear that up. It was not to offend anyone, because I like Ben. I think Ben's a great player. And we know some things go on sometime off the field, but the man has survived, I'll say. And he's continuing to thrive. A lot of people are still talking about Ben Roethlisberger. I'm one of them. So I just want to say, Rudy, don't put this much pressure on me again, making me have to pick out the guys. Can you at least give me a guy that's not a Hall of Fame? Can you at least give me one of them that's not a Hall of Fame? Can you name Geno or Sam Darnold or somebody to make it a little easier on me next time, please?
I can't. But that wasn't my list. That was off of X, and I just said, well, let me ask Derek.
Great list. Whoever made that list, great list.
That was a great list. They left off some key guys too. Great list right there. You can catch myself again, Derek, and myself. It's going to be the Friday Drive or Thursday Night Delight edition of the Sports Answer. Derek, you have a great weekend. We'll see you guys next week again. You can join myself and Jeff later on for Spurs in Focus, where you can find on Answer Now TV. We'll see you guys later.
Happy holidays.
You've been watching The Sports Answer, brought to you by Salem Surround. Salem Surround is proud to be San Antonio's premier digital marketing agency, offering a wide array of services like digital audio, email marketing, online reputation management, SEO, social marketing, and more. Visit salemsurround.com, San Antonio, and stay in the game.